Hi, Alan Stratton from Woodturning. The AAW forums had a challenge to turn a ball in a ball. Well, it's over now, but still it's a good exercise. It was accompanied by a great write-up by Hockenberry on how to turn a ball in a ball. Essentially, you turn a sphere or a ball to start with, or cheat, use a golf ball or some other pre-made ball, and then turn another ball or sphere. And by the way, the octagon method and the cup chucks are a great method to make a perfect sphere for this. Then you mount these in soft jaws or a donut chuck so that you can hollow out the inside, make it big enough to accept the ball inside, but the very lip needs to be sized perfectly, gradually, so that the ball will press in but not come out. So then you can have it any way. So let's turn this ball in a ball well, not in another ball. So let's turn it. Essentially, 2/3 of this project is making perfect spheres. Or you can cheat and use a golf ball for the smaller ball. As usual with the octagon process, I note the key measures directly on the cylinder as I calculate them. In this case, my diameter is just over 2 inches. Before marking the points on the cylinder, I trim the end. This is double duty. I am turning down to a tenon that equals the length of each side of the octagon. This will mark the end of the 45-degree side I will cut later. Then the same thing on the opposite side. After marking the other corners and the midpoint on the side, I immediately move on to cutting the 45-degree sides. Then split the side and split them again. Then immediately move on from decagon to rough round sphere. Remember, I still have to turn another sphere. On to the cup faceplate work. First, the 3 set rotations with the gouge, skew, or scraper. This removes almost all the remaining imperfections. Then the same set of rotations for each grid of sandpaper. Let's speed through the sanding, but never, ever skip it. Finally, some shellac for a finish applied. You guessed it, in 3 rotations. 1 sphere completed. Now for the larger sphere in English walnut, I believe. Again, both calculations completed on my smartphone and noted on the wood. This one is a little over 2.5 inches in diameter. Here we go again. Cut a tenon size to the octagon sides. This time, I will mark off the rest of the points before addressing the opposite end. Then the 45-degree sides and on to splitting the sides and splitting them again. This gets me close to a perfect hexadecagon or a decahexagon, whichever. Now it is a simple matter to round it by eye. This time I did not bother trying to cut off the ends. That can be accomplished in the first turn between cup centers with the tools. I simply have to be gentle until they are gone. Then finish ghost busting the sphere with the 3 turns of 90 degrees. Each time the poles become the new equator. I do not forget the sanding through each grit, each with the 3 turns at 90 degrees. With each set, the equator gets smaller, which elongates the poles. Then, the next turn, where the poles are at the equator, reduces them but slightly elongates the new poles. The third set fixes it up. Now for the hard part. As Al writes in his instructions, this goes from too small to too big in a hurry. I chose to use a donut chuck to enable me to cut a hollow into the big sphere. To make things easier, I start by drilling holes that are definitely smaller than what I will need. As Al advises, I made a template to test my hollow. As I switch to a round nose scraper, I proceed very carefully, testing frequently. I want it to hang gently with just a tad of pressure. Then my final cut, some fine sanding and a little more shellac to touch it up. And at the end, my small sphere goes in, probably too easily. Still, my small sphere will hang in there. So there we go. A ball and a ball. Probably easier to start with a golf ball and only turn one big sphere. A golf ball would be more flexible than a wood ball. Please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe on my website, and tell your friends about my videos. I appreciate your comments and questions. Every week I add a new wood turning video to my website. Always, please wear your full face shield anytime the lathe is running. A face shield saved my life and it can save yours. Only if you use it. And I will be able to see you next week, but if you do not, try to heal quickly.